So hi guys, welcome to EraAfrica. My name is Nqobile. I'm your host and mentor at EraAfrica. So today we have a panel, and we are going to be discussing a very important issue where His Majesty the King Mswati the Third on the 7th of July was launching the first African Integration Day and the African e-commerce platform. So as EraAfrica, we think it's important that we disseminate this information to everyone so that we know what's happening around us and the opportunities that are there for us and what we can take advantage of. And that is what exactly the King was talking about. And today we celebrate our mentors in the platform. That is Mr. Mohammed and also Ms. Nqobile and Ndzinisa. So they are going to introduce themselves and tell us more about who they are, what they do, and how they can mentor us. But we are going to also expose the details that are in this speech and actually disseminate it to you so that you know what you can do with it. So our mentors, welcome to the platform. Welcome to EraAfrica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Nqobile and Ndzinisa, please introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Hi again. I think they might have seen me in our first video.
Yes,
but
definitely.
For those who haven't, my name is Nqobile, like Nqobile said, and I'm lecturer and researcher at the University of Swaziland in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication.
Thank you. Mr. Mfundo Mohammed, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Nqobile, and welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to be here discussing a very important and interesting topic. So by way of profession, I'm a web developer and I've been in the industry for over 10 years now. In fact, I just remembered in 2012, I was part of the Believe, Begin, Become competition where I entered an e-commerce idea and I was part of the top 5. So perhaps we'll unpack that whole experience as we discuss.
Of course we should. Thank you so much. Now we know who they are, we know how they can impact us, so we are getting to the juicy details. EraAfrica is a peer-to-peer mentorship platform. Lapo we can access mentors that we can relate to as our peers. So on the 7th of July, His Majesty had a keynote speech last deliver that is very pertinent for every African child to access, and more especially the Swazi child. Please unpack it for us. On the day.
Okay. So we will link the speech below, so I won't go paragraph by paragraph. So please do yourself a favor and check the speech out. But the first thing, Jay, like you said in the beginning, was that Begulonjwa First Africa Integration Day. So what was that? When I listened to that and I thought, what is First Africa Integration Day? I know a lot of us don't know.
Exactly.
So basically what happened was on the 7th of July last year in 2019, leaders came together at the African Union in Rwanda, and they operate. So they had in 2018 they had signed the Africa, what is it called? It's called the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. So it was coming into effect last year. And so when it came into effect last year, they decided that every year on the 17th of July, we will celebrate Africa Integration Day. What that means is the whole point of Africa Integration Day is that we will consider how we are building a unified African continental economy and how we are, it's not a holiday per se, but it's a way to gauge milestones on what we're trying to do. And the Africa Trade Agreement is basically the foundation of the Africa e-trade platform that we will discuss later on, because we should as Africans trade among ourselves. So that is basically what the whole idea is. And Lisa, in speaking, he noted the time that we're in, because if it was normal, they would have met somewhere together. But he noted that we can't now because of things like COVID. And this is so fundamentally true and important in the time of Skulmanga 4IR almost every day now. So we need to find ways to be able to continue life and work through other and be productive through other platforms, unlike just expecting to be meeting good physically. So this is why he noted the opportunities that are being brought by Africa e-trade platform. And so in his speech he did emphasize that observing Mswati who are going to be participating on the platform will come up with innovations, will come up with ideas that they would want to put on the platform, and Mr. Mohammed will tell us more about what this platform that we keep talking about is and what it aims to do. But basically, we are going to be innovators. So we need to find ways to do things differently. So nana skill saming nana info yamlengi produce go. Sige saba nema programs where besfunza sabo mage gut spend halboma vaselna halboma. If we can package that and put it on the platform and sell it to somebody in Egypt, to somebody in in other African countries, and then so Umlisa rightly highlighted Gutsi. These people's things, our fellow Swazis innovations need to be registered and protected. And this to me stuck out because I do realize that we have organizations such as the Science and Technology Park that will give us these platforms to be able to do our research, test if so discovery recipe lenga ya tomato sauce lenga rivala all gold. So they can come up with that, and they need to be able to patent that and then put it online and sell it as a product that belongs to them. Same like halbom, same like insipotite, you know. And we have those structures like still upcoming years, but they have this potential like Real Science and Technology Park. And then we also have, so we need Hulmende to then step up now and make sure Gutsi for uyas vomel. We know through Naskunmangabo patents is the Ministry of Commerce now, so I hope Gutsi they'll be able to take this up and make sure Gutsi everything is on order, because innovations say figure say is kanzile, so our legislations do have to catch up to make sure Gutsi Mswati derive profit in their innovations. So in Ministry of Commerce, we know Gutsi economy for like the Copyright Act of 2018, Patents Act of 2018, Intellectual Property Tribunal Act of 2018. So there must be a forum right. Now these acts exist, they are there as but they cannot be operationalized without regulations. So we need the Ministry of Commerce to step up and make sure that that happens. We need to make sure they are able to champion a trademark amendment bill that allows for international registration, so that halbom wet fuwalagangwan is konegum register a USA. Not come halbom was a USA, but to see mendala kai. Connect basiwa because we hold the trademark yalen.
Thank you so much. We are actually going deep as Sektabanga, the e-platforms and the e-commerce and how we can actually take advantage of them. Thank you for bringing the first part of what the King was actually talking about. So mentees, remember, as a country and as an economy, we are growing and we are actually innovating now. I mean, especially when you said rivaling what is already in the market with our own local products. So Nyalo Besnabo all gold, like you said, but Eswatini Kitchen is coming up. How do we put these things on the platform? And we are lucky because today Sinayewa Mfundo will actually, tell us how we can do it, because labanye benda listing are what home recipes that they can actually harness from this. Because I mean, I heard that Japan just banned Eswatini residents to come into Japan because of COVID-19. But we want our things to go there. Now we have an Continental platform. So thank you for bringing up these things. Please continue and tell us.
Okay. More. So in continuing, His Majesty mentioned that. So to me, something else that stood up was that he was emphatic. We need entrepreneurs need to move from we're just surviving to actually thriving. And that to me was big, because it means Nati as entrepreneurs, as singers, as actresses, as actors, we need to be able to think of ourselves as a product, as a valuable product so Sitikabang is from Eswatini to the world, I like to think. So think of yourself as marketable, and so this calls for embracing change, embracing letimpo letendega gutsi. Nyalo, you won't always have to. You can't be discovered like on the internet. Basically, people are making a living from the internet. We always say so. So as young people, as SMEs, we need to think differently and be able to use the tools that we have. I was speaking in Alabama, someone was making a very pertinent point. Could say, we always talk about data is expensive,
Right.
and he noted, good say, but all of us have WhatsApp, and all of us use WhatsApp. So why can't we leverage on those things to say, I'm using it for business now. Ngiyaphume context ngoba ngiyakhona ukukhuluma nabangani bami na WhatsApp, so I can reach potential customers, potential clients, potential sponsors ngalo kulesinako. So that new way of thinking for me was it.
Right.
And I think finally the final thing, because I don't want to go into the actual platform itself, I feel like we have a proper expert for that. But for me, the biggest thing is that Lisa rightly also pointed out, see, this allows us to create a network. And again, Emma skills FOIR, they require that you are able to collaborate. So, njengoba or even tomato sauce or whatever, I need to be able to collaborate. Less a skill that a robot or whatever, computer, artificial intelligence can never take away from us as humans. So we will still be relevant. No matter how robots will be taking our jobs, but we'll still be relevant because I still need to be able to contact a person in Nigeria to say, kuna tomato sauce wala kangwan, or kuna acha wala kangwan, or kuna vaseline wala kangwan, and I need you to sell that. So basically, so we are exporting a Swazi fundamental product, but you can't do that if what they would say, I'll do it myself. In a world where you buy yourself. So these skills for me was an emphasis. Good see, he's rightly aware. Good see, 4IR is here, but also we need to play a role to make sure good see, we benefit from it. And he sounded a call to the young people to Luthango, because Luthango basically said, good see, bomage. Nibo my entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Ambamba. Like bomage utawuphuma yothengisa tamatis kuthi sibuye sidle inyama la khaya siphile siye esikolweni. There are women who've taught their kids ngemali yasemarket. So and young people get because they are the bastion of innovation. Like innovation thrive akibo siva ngabona ukuthi sekunani bo 5G bendani icingo capable of what and this and that. So those were the populations la sound a specific call to say take advantage.
Right. And so it's your lucky chance, mentees, because you are young and agile and you can do so much. And all we need is just the information to know, to be privy of what is happening, so that we can actually do much with what we have. Nqobile so summarize so many of the things that His Majesty actually talked about, and also the consciousness of knowing the times that we are in. One of the things that he mentioned was good. See, we are facing, the disappearance of some SMEs. You know why? Because we were in lockdown. Masvula business is not the same. People have discovered that they can do without a salon.
Yes.
Because while they were at home, they were looking at DIY videos.
Exactly.
So how do you thrive? How do you place yourself, in the position to thrive after second day logo? So lose a clientele, but you still have to survive. So yeah, it was quite a mouthful. The things that he actually talked about. Siyabonga kakhulu for actually explaining it to us, and we're still gonna explain it more. And remember, the link of the full speech is gonna be shared on our video below. So just share it with others, and actually do what you have to do. So going to the second leg of our interview, we want to welcome you, Mbabane, again. And you have been exposed to this space e-commerce, and what can you share about it in relation with Lobakuluma on the day to the young people and our mentees?
Okay, thank you, Noktula, and thank you, Nqobile, for. I think I'm also a bit more enlightened in terms of understanding the context of the speech. But maybe one may start by Gukutal Bayete, Ngonyameni, and the leaders of the continent, really, for taking the lead, and sometimes I think often as leaders, for them is to provide guidance and a vision. And I think for the rest of us is to follow and try and ensure that happens. And I say that in the context of the period we are in, to say if everything was perfect, then we'd all just be sitting at home.
Sure.
So in challenges, in times like this comes opportunities,
Yeah.
and this is a perfect time to really rethink how we do things. I always say, nangabe bowuqashiwe and you're on lockdown, and 3 months later no one has called you to ask about anything. You should really rethink your position or your post in that company, because the reality is abakzing.
So true.
So it really forces us to sort of rethink how we do things and sort of reconfigure our organizations, our businesses. I mean, you know, less conduct, or even the way we do church, we've really had to rethink how we configure that and really continue to meet Emma objectives there too. But maybe just coming back to this whole e-commerce narrative, it is an interesting one, and maybe if one may just go back to how maybe the continent reaches, you know, that e-trade, you know, that one platform idea, is that as Africans we are saying we need to unite. So Africa as one, delivering Africa as one. So it's about understanding the resources we have. It's about harnessing the potential we have for the benefit of Africans. So we are saying, you know, and take our resources at 50 times the price. So the whole purpose of this is really to push that, to say, here's an opportunity to create a platform where we can really leverage on those skills, on those resources, on the ideas and the creativities of Africans for the benefit of Africa. And I think really in terms of maybe the target, it's not just Africans, but it's the world at large. So it's saying, let's trade amongst each other and let's trade to the world. So, you know, one, you know, just kind of thinking in Mhlambe where Baholi are sort of thinking is a point where you are saying now, Gunema products that are African, made in Africa, and exclusively available in Africa. Ungayothenga something in Switzerland, gansi yakiwela, so it's in Swiss dollars and say tulile, you know, it's really not available. But maybe, you know, as we sort of unpack e-commerce, the real point here, e-commerce, is to offer convenience. The convenience, it's everything must be integrated, but maybe singaga figi lapho, I will say convenient trust, because there's a number of issues. So one, it starts with le product langibonago. Is it, so the first question, is it a genuine product? And how do I know it's a genuine product? Okay, so you go past that stage and you say, okay, if I buy it, first of all, ndaithola in itawufika in game, because now that means I need to part with a resource, which is money. And then the question is, how secure is that transaction of the money? So there's that. And then basic banale issue, it's okay, so I see the item, I pay for it, but I deliver. The other pertinent issue is itawufika in vele langhlala khona. And that speaks to part of the challenges in terms of, you know, the African space, and I'll get to that in a bit. Logunye is sort of the part around, we take it for granted, good as long as I understand the technology. I'll speak for myself. I have a 2-year-old son who knows a bit more about my phone than I do. Because now when he takes the gadget, he presses anything and things pop up, and he's like, oh, okay, let's see where that takes me. You know? So, but you assume because I'm in the IT space, I know all about IT. I don't. So that's the other important bit. Nas introduce our platforms. It's not everyone that would understand what it is and how it works. So that's also another area that to see book. When one looks at the statistics around Africa and e-commerce, it gives a lot of transactions are cash on delivery. And that is because most of the time lama payment options la available are not integrated. Noma kumbe bantu abawethembi. So angi order and then nasa kufikile ngidawubhadala. So a lot of it is cash on delivery. But herein lies the problem, which I mentioned earlier is an opportunity. A lot of our addressing systems in Africa are structured. So the reason why Amazon thrive in developed countries is because each house has a unique address. So I can be linked to my unique address, and I can check anywhere ukuthi kuphi leyo address. La kithi thola uhlala esiqinisini kubekiswa ngel bridge ka Mohammed nawe ngemfuleni yabo. So for the guy who's making the delivery, that may not be that easy. Yabona. So there's the issue of the addressing systems that needs to be addressed. There's also an issue here, the logistical infrastructure. How we move. Imigwaqo yethu. So that may be locally, maybe regionally, maybe continental. So there's issues around that. Gune issue here, customs and cross-border issues. You know, do you have the right paperwork to, you know, import and export stuff? So I believe there's also another conversation around the whole customs thing. Which is a bit tricky for Africa because that's our source of income as well. So now, so since let's now to unpack. So maybe if this really takes off, no, actually there's more money to be made if you relax some of those restrictions. And I think basically, you know, after we sort of go past those issues, then it sort of levels the ground. But as I mentioned, while it's issues or challenges, these are the opportunities. I think Nqobile spoke to something around Nankunmanga reconfiguring how we do things. You've always, so in the past 20 years, there's always that narrative around machines replacing humans. The machines themselves need humans to build them, to maintain them, to program them. So Nqobile from saying, okay, we need so many graduates of Nyabegisa, Emma lawyers, to say maybe no, take some of that Kahoot, we channel it to something that's more relevant to where the future is taking us in terms of the fourth industrial revolution.
Very important. Thank you for stating that, because as the change comes, also like you said, Nqobile was saying, the legislations should change. The how we educate our kids should change. Everything should actually change to and adapt quickly. As you said, that it's changed, but it's change that's coming fast. I mean, it was just only after a month basically works a China, the next thing we're having a lockdown. No one knew, so the change is supposed to be quite fast, but it must be done. So thank you for raising those points. Please carry on.
So I think so therein lies really the opportunity, and I think as His Majesty articulated it, it's an opportunity for women, it's an opportunity for the youth, and really give me, I think we Nqobile in terms of, you know, little creative, little innovative. I mean, I think of gune plant lila pembaga, the marula products, you know, gune tinvo nangabe gune tango ehlane noma kumbe ebuhleni. There's a lot of interesting products that you see there where you think, okay, actually that is unique. You know, how can we package that and sell it to the world? And you know, those are really good opportunities. And to say to youth, you know, come on guys, what can we leverage? I mean, I read an interesting piece this morning around opportunities in agriculture, and really that for me is one of the greatest opportunities for Africa. Uma ubuka Eswatini, we say staple food is maize. Nakufika ehlobo, come January, a lot of our yards kunembila ngaphandle. But maize is the highest import in terms of food, and that for me still doesn't make sense. There's something that we're missing. So how can we leverage technology to elevate that area or that platform? But there's one area, and I quote from His Majesty's speech, and that will work with governments to build the largest cloud computing infrastructure in all 5 regions of the continent so that we can store Africa's data. For me, this is a very key element. I think for the longest time, other people have controlled Africa's narrative. It's time we control our narrative. So it's time Africa tells its own story to the world. And logo means we need to have the systems in place to share data, to collect data, and to use data. And in that, give me those are all opportunities. So let's go into this is actually important information,
Yeah.
and some of it is data that is stored somewhere.
Yeah.
Yabona? So that others can use. Uma leyo data seyikhona. So you know, I always say to people, ngiyabekisa la Eswatini nasithi kune business plan competition. As I mentioned earlier, in 2012 I was part of a competition where I had to write a business plan and get it data and statistics.
Yeah.
You end up going to South Africa.
Yeah.
Bese uyabekisa ukuthi nangabe kunjengala,
Yeah.
it must also be true.
Yeah.
Yet we have tinvo tiendeka every day. The question is, where is that data stored and how can we analyze? Because then if there's data, then we can analyze it, and that's the analytics that give us the picture of the trends that we need to plan things. So nalapo ikhona le opportunity. But most important is the issue of the common marketplace for Eswatini, because in Zabaye e-commerce platform is that now it cuts across.
Yeah.
There's no borders, there's no customs. You get to the marketplace virtually loudly corner on your mobile, on your desktop, wherever. You see what's happening in Nigeria, in Egypt, in Chad. We just see them on the map. But here's an opportunity to say, hey, listen, it doesn't matter where you are, you can access the products wherever you are. So Angat Noma, at some point we will speak about the actual platform that was launched. But maybe maybe Sengyang Asektineni, maybe of this part of the conversation. Maybe speak to things or areas that we need to focus on as a country and as a continent to really ensure that what our leaders have put forth as an opportunity is really taken up by the rest of us. So the first part is connect. And by connect, I mean make fast, reliable internet accessible and affordable to all.
Yeah.
Sigesa begisa ngemavela fana nabo Estonia. Even our friend Taiwan, where they made internet is a right. Access to internet is a right for all.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you're saying to people, access as much information as you can, so that because Inzaba innovation is also an interesting space.
Yeah.
Because really, how much innovation can you do? Because Logendago is that you see something that is being used elsewhere, and you say, okay, in that form, we can tweak it to fit our own circumstances.
Yeah.
So that's because you were exposed.
Yes.
And that's what internet does. It exposes us to information and ideas. Bese, my second point is exposure. Now for our youth and women, particularly in the international arena, Gubuga Gutsi, Gwendegan in other countries. So, you know, in conversations with others around, you know, the notion of first world. If first world is also limited to your knowledge.
Yes.
So lomunye ngendeka aye emelo. Evengati, wow, this is first world.
Yes.
You understand? Because that's how far they've been exposed.
Yeah.
Lomnyita ye sentin. Ati wow, now this is first world.
Yeah.
Lomnya tupai.
Yeah.
Ati this is first world. So masbuya songes later flames kulmanga first world, but ngicabanga Carolina first world. You know, Nqobile ucabanga sentin, you know, nokthula ucabanga tupai. So us being exposed really helps us think around what we need to do to position ourselves. The other one speaks to a marketing concept which is called the marketing mix, the 4 Ps. Product, so the product yako, packaging, features, is it easy to use? Is it something that people can remember? The design or support, that's important. Sakabanga goods, okay, here's this platform, I want to sell on it. 2, price, you know, is it affordable? And then also have a consideration of foreign exchange.
Yeah.
So ngiyabekisa nangabe sibuka the Africa e-commerce platform, we need to think bulk. As it's not retail, angiye pick and pay ngiyothenga butter. Funa ngicabange as a wholesaler. So either I'm a manufacturer or I'm a wholesaler. So ngicabanga ukuthengisa in bulk. Because ngiyabekisa ukuthengisa something ya $10. By the time sekwenze onke lama costs ngendeka ngisale na 50 cents.
Yeah.
And does that make business sense? Maybe not. But could I not package that gube my units of 1,000 when now I can sell for 1,000 US dollars? Noma ngabe sengithole profit ya 300 US dollars, that's something that's significant.
Right.
So we really need to think around e-pricing it. Promotion. What's the unique value proposition? Because it makes no sense for me to put something South Africa on the platform. South Africa. So the question is, how unique is the product and what's the value proposition? Umlose Nigeria, nomuntu lose Kenya. Uyayibona in le value yale product yakho, uyayibona in le uniqueness. So promotion is and relevance and demand is key. And then placement in terms of distribution. Is it something is it a digital product? Is it a physical product? You know, I need to think around, okay, how does it move from me to the person? So you really need to think the cycle through. And then maybe my last point would be to say, I think it would defy the purpose yale platform. Nasta Kanza Tinvo on the platform made in other continents. Because the whole point is it's made in Eswatini, it's made in Africa. That really adds value to the platform because now it makes it unique and it's actually selling the African proposition. It's actually empowering African. So it would be said the platform my products like elsewhere. Okay, what are we doing really? So maybe for now
Mr. Mohammed, thank you so much for sharing these insights with us, with our mentees, and maybe also with our stakeholders, because we are part of this Eswatini nation. We can bring our opinions to whoever that can listen and probably even implement. But most importantly, to our mentees, the practicality of it, that aspect that you have actually brought out today. Thank you for that. Remember, guys, we connect, we expose, we market, and we market. Thank you so much for bringing those nuggets today here with us. There's so many things that you brought up that we don't have time to actually, unpack. But in that the highlighter, like the thing about narrative, the king actually said about that it's time that Africans bring African solutions, as you said. So that is very important. And nyalo as utina ukuluma gona loguti, it will be said that we'd find things from other platforms. But my greatest fear is that they might move to this continent and then wear a mask. Gube sologunebo. But they are just bafage wena MB. So it's we need to fight to get into this platform as Africans in our truest sense. So ngiko ngithi siyabonga kakhulu for bringing that up. Ngiko nawe muvlomusha ekhaya ngendeka bongayeva ngani, this is for you. This is for your products. This is for your business. This is for your SME. This platform is predicted to have about 600,000 SMEs from Africa. Ngaba njani nje 300,000 abuye Eswatini. Because as this was said, Nigeria was listening. South Africa was listening. Mozambique was listening. Egypt was listening. Algeria, everyone else. But Nati Eswazis, we want to get that slot in the piece of cake. And as we disseminate this information, we hope that you guys can take advantage of it and harness its benefit. Thank you so much. Of course, yes, we would like to know about the platform.
Yes.
We would like to know about the platform. So briefly, please tell us about it.
Okay. So in the launch on the 7th of July, there was actually two products, online platforms that were being launched. So the first one is it's the e-commerce platform. So Likamalakona is Sokoku, which is a Swahili word meaning common market or central market. So it's sokoku.africa. So it's already online, so people can go on the Babugema products Lakona. I think I saw Nje briefly on there. I think you need to register as a vendor. Okay. And actually maybe that speaks to another important point. In terms of the SME. So, and it's interesting because kahulumende bese kubang SMME. So then what is the correct term? But basically we've got small and we've got medium enterprises. And I think the definition it's companies that make a turnover of up to 8 million. So now, in terms of the statistics, and I'm sorry I don't really have them with me, a lot of the SMEs see on the small side. And it is unfortunate that we stay on the small side for too long of a time. And really where we need to start is moving from the small, is really moving small businesses to becoming medium businesses. So that lalaba fika go baqale nabo small singathi khanzi sonke sesistuck la ku small. So we really need to try and move businesses from small to medium enterprise. And part of the challenge there, or part of the things that need to happen, is the issue of formalization. And this is important for this presentation because umufuna ngena kule trade platform, you need to have your paperwork in place. And if you don't have your paperwork in place, then you're not really going to be a part of the platform. So you need to be registered, Mapepa, Kobo, SRA, all these things need to be in place. Otherwise, then you won't have a chance to be a part of this. So formalization, bandu ba registered ngapaneta dati.
And quickly on the second platform.
Okay, and then in terms of the second platform, it's one that's called AfriSnap. And really that one is a forum where SMEs, so the positioning right now, it's a forum for SMEs to discuss challenges that they are facing during this COVID era. So the idea, as I mentioned, the issue of exposure, the issue of actually discussing ama issues. SMEs lakhona lana, and this is my maybe one of my key points, is the issue of formations. So I know Gutibo Mage, Tango, you know, I think even Business Eswatini as an active women's wing now, and that really helps elevate the conversation. So when they can talk about the challenges, and it is through that formation that people can listen, government can engage. So part of the challenge with the youth Eswatini, particularly the business side, good teleformation. So Hulmende Commerce has got a lot of initiatives. There's a lot of maybe funding and resources that come in, channeled towards youth entrepreneurs, but tutaba kanza pukulma naban. So what then tends to happen to foster existing structures such as Bo Youth Fund, Nabo ENYC to reach youth lemangwen. But the tolas mhlambe logo seku blended with other deliverables. It's no longer a conversation strictly about businesses. So it's important for the youth to come together and have a formation le formal. Na yolene mandate chayo je lay business. Funa je formation le dakuba ngama business and stick to their mandate, so we can really take this to the next level. In fact, that's where some of these things that come out from AU and all these organizations can be unpacked and really made relevant to you.
To everyone else. Thank you so much for unpacking that. And we brought someone who's very relevant to explain these things to us. What exactly they ask. You have an AfriSnap, Sukoku.
Sukoku,
Even you saw, we were not even, some of us, aware of these things, but today we are aware, and let's make use of these resources. Our mentees, thank you for having been here. Spent your day with our mentors today. Thank you very much. Nqobile, please, your parting words and maybe some comments on what Mbabane Mohammed has said.
It's just to encourage young people. Good see these things are. This is an amazing platform, EraAfrica, and please take these advices and use them, because njengoba asho Mr. Mohammed, it's pointless go to siyakhuluma, but then young people come together, form a forum, do these things, take advantage of these things. Because we do need to learn about packaging stuff, about marketing, just business but we need to think, grow bigger, think worldwide. And the king did say in his speech, because we're making millionaires faster. Millionaires faster, Africa. So that's what we're doing. That's,
Mbabane Mohammed, please.
Thank you. It's been it's been interesting. I think for me, sometimes as you think about these things, you also think about yourself and what you're doing in terms of relevance. Don't speak about things long again.
Yes.
But I think, you know, for me, it's an approach which I've learned in the innovation space. Think big, start small, fail fast.
Yeah. And fail forward.
Yes. Logo kusho ukuthi that's an iterative process.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck in something that's not working just because you feel like it has to work. Sometimes it's just not meant to work at that time.
Yeah.
At some future point you may get back to it. So in terms of innovation, because sometimes we overthink things.
True.
So asiqaleni, and in failing, failure is the biggest teacher. That's what I've learned. Unfortunately, esikolweni bebashana sifail. Kanti kufuna us understand that sisfailele.
Yes.
So I think really for young people out there, the opportunities are there. And you know, God created us for a purpose. You know, we can all achieve something. You can all become something. Nalela ukhona khona kumbe nyalo usekhaya kumbe uvangathi you're not in town, but you have access to something. You may have access to land. You may have access to other things. Letingekho la ekhaya. Maybe just sharing one last thing. I remember in say UK studying. I was shocked in Kanza kum.
Packaged well.
Kum ang £3. One kum. I almost fell off my feet because I was like, wait, what? Len vamos sits in kaya because it's just yadi mile lalapa. But for them, it's a really like, you know, nice product at a premium price.
And it's
those
probably and it's exotic there.
Exactly, it's an exotic fruit. You know what? Just package 20 of them. You know, that's like quite a bit of money. So what I'm saying is there's opportunities where we are. There's things that we have that others don't, and that's an opportunity to sell something. But let's not asinga give up. The situation we're in right now, as the world, is just teaching us to just rethink what we are doing and how we are doing it. And with God, everything is possible.
Thank you so much. The wealth of information that has been shared here. And of course, siyabonga to His Majesty the King Mswati III for actually bringing such wisdom to the African continent even through this speech. And from it, we can harness so much from it. So remember to continue and link with us and link to our mentors, and remember to like and share our pages and make them to reach to those that actually need them the most. Join the movement, mentor, be mentored. We are EraAfrica, and from the EraAfrica team we say
it's your time.